What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's DeMarius Jackson. So in today's video, I'm going to go over 5 reasons why you should record yourself, starting with this, number 1. You probably don't sound how you think you do. So story time, rewind back a couple of decades ago to 1996, I want to say. I was auditioning for a region band back in South Carolina. Sonata number 3 handle, I remember the solo, and I was practicing it, trying to learn vibrato and do all these things. I had a recording on a tape deck. Yeah, I'm that old. But anyway, I had a recording and I was trying to emulate the recording. So back when gateway computers were all the rage in 1996 or the mid to late 90s, it had this little microphone on it. I'll try to find a picture of it. And I decided to record myself on Windows Recorder. I don't even remember what it was. So there I was pouring my heart and soul out of Handel Sonata number 3. I go back to listen to it. Number 1, it sounded like trash. It mainly sounded like trash because honestly, I didn't know anything about the mic and it was clipping and all kinds of other stuff. But as I actually listened to it, all that vibrato that I actually thought I was doing and I was, being really expressive, it was not coming across that way at all. So right then and there, I learned the number 1 reason personally for why you should record yourself is because a lot of times it may not exactly sound like what you have in your head. Number 2 reason is technique. So there was a period of time where I was doing a lot of technique exercises. I'll have a link to a video that I did with like an extreme saxophone technique where you basically put paper under your fingertips and try to keep it there pennies. So anyway, I started recording myself, and although I was doing those exercises, when it came to my free play or recording myself playing an etude or improvising or whatever it may be, I actually noticed that I wasn't doing a lot of the things that I was actually trying to practice to do. So in addition to actually recording myself, I actually practice with a full-length mirror. I do this a lot of times for clarinet, but I also do it with saxophone to actually try to relax my face, consciously think about my fingers over the keys and not going too crazy. Now, to be 100% honest, I don't think about that too hard when I'm actually into the music, when I'm improvising or when I'm playing a prepared solo, whatever it may be. But any little bit of technique and any little advantage in my playing that I can get really helps. So record yourself, not only listening back but also looking at yourself, get an audio and a visual recording of yourself playing, and I think that will help out a lot with that reason number 2, which was technique. Reason number 3 is bad habits. So I still do it to this day. I've eliminated a lot of it out of my playing, but when I listened back to myself playing one time, I just noticed that I was doing these scoops, and these scoops in my mind sounded really, really good. And when I went back to listen to it, it sounded like trash again. Now, this isn't me knocking scooping and doing inflections. It can be appropriate when used sparingly, I guess, but I had a habit of doing it on honestly every single note, and it's something that plagues me to this day. So use those recordings to take note of your bad habits and take note of your good habits, which leads me to number 4. And those are the good habits that can be developed while you're playing, or maybe even ideas. So some of the things that I'm thinking about in my improvisation that I've been thinking about for a while are actually enclosures. Once again, I'll leave a link to a video and all that good stuff. But enclosures, so what I do personally is I record myself playing confirmation every week in all 12 keys. So for me, I've been working on enclosures, and I can definitely hear it in my playing. And it's almost getting to a point where I'm doing it way too much, but at least I can hear it in my playing, and I can tell that I'm making progress on that concept that I concentrated on. And so from there, I'll go and learn a new concept and try to implement it in my playing, or take an idea that I've played in an improv and try to expand upon it. And that leads me to the last reason, which is self-evaluation, which is really all of these reasons combined in one. But if you are friends with a musician that you love and you trust and you honor their opinion and critiques on you, what I would do is take that recording and give it to whoever that musician is and let them critique you. Now, this is going to be the tough part because music is something that I'm sure we all love and hold dear to our heart. But you should be able to take a little bit bit of criticism. I remember one of the first lessons I had with a gentleman that I learned a lot from. I won't say his name because videos and all that stuff, but it was up in Richmond, Virginia, and it was about an hour, hour and a half long lesson. I thought everything was going good. He's giving me some solid things to work on, things I never thought about. At the end of the lesson, he asked me to play Confirmation. So I take a ride over Confirmation, and he cuts me off at the end, and he just looks at me and he's like,
I don't know how you can take it.
and I said, take what? What are you talking about? He's like,
How can you sit there and take it? You play so sharp in the upper register.
and that literally broke my heart. I was like, first I went through these stages of denial, like, how dare you? I'm paying you for this lesson. How are you gonna tell me that I play sharp? And then as I rode home in the car, I started thinking to myself, it's like, man, do I play sharp? It's like the realization phase. And then I was like, I am sharp. I need to go practice. Jeez. But anyway, whether it's a fellow musician, colleague, or peer, or an instructor that's teaching you, take these things to heart and don't take music personally. Just because somebody tells you you play sharp doesn't mean they hate you as a person. At least I hope they don't. I love you all. Hope you enjoyed the video. Talk to you next time. Out.